Thank you for figuratively and literally having my back.
You are a misogynist. Not only that, you are a Christian Zionist. And you support the war in Gaza.
All right, it's time to weave out the lies so we can get to the facts. The Senate confirmation hearing for President-elect Donald Trump's nominee to lead the U.S. Department of Defense, Pete Hegseth, was thrown into chaos Tuesday as protesters disrupted the proceedings multiple times. The drama unfolded as Hegseth began his opening remarks, which were immediately interrupted by loud and disruptive voices from the audience. Hegseth, a former Fox News host and military veteran, in case you didn't know, took the floor to explain why Trump remained confident in his ability to lead the department, despite ongoing reports about his alleged struggles with alcohol and womanizing. As Hegseth began outlining Trump's vision for the Department of Defense, a protester at the back of the room shouted, "You are a misogynist," which is the footage you saw at the beginning of this video. Now, I can't assume he's a misogynist, but it is true Hegseth is a Christian Zionist, which is what the man also alluded to before he was thrown out the hearing. As the hearing continued, another protester, a woman at the back of the room, stood up and yelled at Hegseth. She was immediately escorted out by security. I mean, this just kept happening over and over, like, we get it. You don't like the guy. The media has done a good job at convincing people he's such a bad man. The chaos escalated as a third protester, a man in a pink service member's uniform, began loudly wailing and resisting officers. After a brief struggle, he too was carried from the room. Despite the interruptions, Hegseth managed to just glide through this hearing with professionalism, and that's the reason why we're making this video here. He was a masterclass in dealing with seriously dumb questions from officials like these. Take a look.
Quite sure that every general who serves should not go directly into the defense industry for 10 years. You're not willing to make that same pledge?
I'm not a general, Senator.
You'll be the one, let us just be clear, in charge of the general.
Would you use our military to take over Greenland or an ally of Denmark?
Senator, one of the things that President Trump is so good at is never strategically tipping his hand. And so I would never in this public forum give one way or another direct what orders the president would give me in any context.
That sounds to me that you would contemplate carrying out such an order to basically invade Greenland.
I mean, did you see that in real time? Pete Hegseth broke Pocahontas on national TV today. It was glorious. And then Senator Mazie Hirono, the Democrat from Hawaii, accuses Pete Hegseth of planning to use the military to take over Greenland and the Panama Canal. I mean, what a clown show it was when it came to the accusations and questions. For one, that's a ridiculous claim. Two, she's consistently voted for our proxy war in Ukraine, where we've set a precedent for striking a major foreign adversary's infrastructure, Nord Stream, and domestic territory. But moving on, nothing to see there. Hegseth persisted, addressing some of the critical issues facing the U.S. military. The hearing, which saw more interruptions than discussions, continued as scheduled, with senators expected to vote on Hegseth's confirmation by the end of the week. If confirmed, he will join Trump's national security team ahead of the president-elect's first day in office. And a simple yet effective question came from Mr. Tuberville here, where he simply asked, "Why are you doing this?" And Hegseth answered the question clear as day.
Why do you want to do this job? What drives you?
You have 30 seconds.
Because I love my country, Senator, and I've dedicated my life to the warfighters. People see me as someone who hosts a morning show on television. But people that really know me know where my heart's at. It's with the guys in this audience who've had my back, and I've had theirs. We've been in some of the darkest and most difficult places you can ever be in. You come back a different person. And only by the grace of God am I here before you today. I'm doing this job for them.
Wow, Just wow. Someone who loves his country. How controversial am I right? I mean, this is what a non-DEI hire looks like. Watch how Pete Hegseth answered Senator Eric Schmidt's question with perfect articulation and detail. He didn't mention how poor he was growing up. He just answered the question. Take notes.
How are you going to fix it?
Well, Senator, thank you for the question. First and foremost, up front, you have to tear out DEI and CRT initiatives root and branch out of institutions.
100%.
And then you have to put in Army, Navy, and Air Force secretaries and others, civilian positions at the helm who are committed to the same priorities that the President of the United States is, and if confirmed, the Secretary of Defense will be. Send a clear message that this is not a time for equity. Equity is a very different word than equality. Equality is the bedrock of our military. Men and women, duty positions in uniform, black, white, doesn't matter. We treat you equally based on who you are in the image of God as an individual. And we all get the same bad haircuts. You're not an individual, you're part of a group. Equity prescribes some sort of an outcome based on differing attributes that we have that divide us. What skin color are you? What gender are you? And then infuse that into institutions which manifest in things like quotas, formal or informal, which does what to morale? Sends it in the tubes. And it makes people feel like they're being judged by something other than how good they are at their job, which is poisonous inside institutions.
Yeah, what we have here is a slam dunk response, explaining in 1 minute the difference between equality and equity. Equality starts with how individuals are all treated the same, regardless. Equity describes how the process should end based on a predetermined desired outcome. What he didn't say was, I grew up a middle-class kid, and at the end of the day, Hegseth has my vote. He doesn't seem interested in stealing people's luggage at airports and shouting out his pronouns to the ears of individuals who simply don't care.
All in all, to stay up to date with the facts, don't be afraid to subscribe to the channel, like the video if you found it informative, hell, even share it with your family and friends, and let's talk about it in the comments here on Facts Only.